everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my studio in Cairo. Today I am feeling really sleepy. It's one of those days, you know, I didn't get much sleep last night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you on a little meander through my sleepy head, and we're going to explore the Kuretake Art Nouveau set, which is this set of paints here. This is it's brand new, hasn't hardly ever been used. I think I might have just used one of the colours once. What I'm going to do is a kind of semi-abstract kind of doodly kind of thing. And we'll see what happens. I haven't got anything particular in mind. But first thing I'm going to do is take out the blues and the greens, and I'm going to put them separately because I'm going to start off with a blue and a green background. And sometimes it's a little bit hard when they're in this order because they're not separated out for some reason. I don't know why. I think this one's greeny blue. So I'll do that, and maybe I might want that one too. That's kind of blue. So, and then the next thing to do, having done that, is to sort of swatch it out a little bit. So I'll take a piece of paper and a medium-sized pen, brush rather, not pen, if I can find one. Okay, so let's just see what these colours look like. And if they all go together, we'll probably use some of all of them. Those two are both quite light, aren't they? This one I expect is probably quite light too. I'm not necessarily going to leave them in this palette because I think they probably move around a bit too much. What do you think? Do they all go together? I think they do. Maybe if we also use this yellowy colour, let's see what that one looks like. Maybe we might want a bit of that, because if we mix that with, say, this one, maybe, we would get a brighter green. Yes, which I think we might well want. That one was that one and that one. Right, okay. Well, I think those colours are all fine. So let's see. I could use hot press, but I think I want a bigger piece of paper than that. And so I think I might have to use, I don't seem to have a large, I thought I brought some. This is the trouble when you're travelling. You tend to leave behind the obvious things. So anyway, we'll use a piece of Meeden cold press, size 12 by 9. And to do this painting, I'll probably use a size 12 round. Any kind will do. And, well, we'll see. I wonder whether if I put that in there, that will stop it from moving. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So we want a biggish brush, and I've got a couple of big pots of water here. That's a clean one, and there's a dirty one. I've got a cloth to wipe my brush off on, to take the majority of the paint off before I rinse it out. And so let's get started. You can do all sorts of different things, obviously, but I just don't feel like doing anything difficult today. Let's put some nice, bright, greenish yellow up here. Then one of the nice things about Kuretake paints is that they don't do as much in the way of backgrounds as a lot of traditional paints do. So when you add blobs and things, they flow out nicely, usually, anyway. And I'm going to do this really slowly. Quite often I work really fast. But today I'm going to do it really slowly and try and work as slowly as possible, because I was looking back through some of my old work on YouTube this morning, and I came across a video that I did about 2.5 years ago, and in it I mentioned how it's important whenever you start, and just put a drop of water in there to let that expand and see what happens when that grows. Every day you're a beginner. I don't know, who was it who said that? I can't remember now. I've forgotten. But yeah, to approach your day of painting as if you were a complete beginner. I've forgotten who it was who said that. So I'm just trying to get as much texture into this painting, these blobs, as possible. So we'll just see how many different ways we can. When I consider I don't have any special equipment here, so I think I want to make that a bit bigger in proportion to that one, and I want to let them run. And it might look ugly to start with, but we don't know, do we, what's going to happen? Shall we go for a circular one now? Maybe pale blue, perhaps with pale green on the inside. And this is going to be quite a strong green. Let's try this dark blue with some of that as well. I don't know what that's going to do. It's a nice colour. When you look at the Art Nouveau set, you might think to yourself, oh, it doesn't look particularly bright and vibrant, but quite often when you mix the colours together, you might be surprised. Let's go back to this yellow. And it's really good to let them just run. And then when we come into this afterwards, once it's dry, and we embellish, we can have some fun with our pens. Let's balance this with maybe an oval down here. And it was very strange today. We went out. I haven't been outside the house here I'm in New Cairo, and hadn't been anywhere at all since we got here a fortnight ago, because my husband's been having an operation, and so we couldn't go out. And today he finally got the all clear from the hospital, saying that no, he hasn't got cancer, and he can resume life as usual. So we decided we would get his brother to take us to a local shop where we thought we would try to buy some fabric for some curtains that we need for the house. And it didn't work out very well. The people in the shop didn't seem to want to I don't know. I don't know why, whether it was me or what it was. But anyway, we yeah. So in the end, we just left after having said, "Oh, okay, well, we'll come back later." And then we went outside, and there's a lot of wild dogs here. Well, not wild, but, homeless. And there was one that was limping, and I don't know why, but it just made me weep. I think I'm missing my dogs. Right. Okay, so that's kind of background, and I think we're going to leave that for the minute, and more or less, I might use up some of this paint that's sitting here. You do though, don't you? If you go away and you leave your animals, you think, oh, it'll be all right, they'll be fine, and of course they are, but are we? No. Worried sick about them. Okay, I'm going to get the hairdryer and dry that. Okay, that's dry. Now I've got some brush pens here. These ones are by Poetique, and but you can get lots of different makes. And I'm just going to put in an organic motif. You have to move fairly slowly with these pens on rough paper or cold pressed paper, because otherwise you get a broken up effect. And although that might not matter, it might, depends. That one, yeah, that's horrible. So when you make a mistake like that, where it's too fat, for example, what you can do is turn a vice into a virtue. And use it as a background for some dots. It's one of those days, I told you. One of those days. Doesn't matter. You could just as easily do this with a brush as a brush pen. And these are quite nice though, because they do have a lovely sharp point. You can see that, can't you? Yeah, so there's that, and maybe I can find a white pen that's a little bit less tricky. I don't know, I don't have any luck with white pens. There we go. So then, let's take a black fine liner. That one is fine, isn't it? That one is 0.1. If you find you like doing this kind of thing, you'll probably end up with quite a collection of different fine liners and different thicknesses. And I think what I did was I got a set of, I don't know, about 8 of these Stettler ones. I quite like these ones. They seem to last quite a long time. And they go in all thicknesses from 0.1 to, I don't know, much, much thicker than that. So let's find a thicker one. This one is, that's 0.2. Yeah, well, on the other hand, you might go for a, this is a Kuretake one, which has got a very, I think, quite a dark blackness. Yeah, that's much fatter, isn't it? So we can just go around there like that if we want to. It's just fun, isn't it? You could do some sort of circles like that. And you could, if you wanted to, go back to your brush and you could darken one half of your leaves if you felt they needed it. That's something else you can do. Like that. It's all a matter of finding different things to do. Of course, this one I made a nice mess of, but there's not much I can do about that, except perhaps I can make it into a virtue by going over it with gold. perhaps we'll go around this one too, and this one. You can't go wrong with a little bit of gold, can you? And up here we could continue with the gold theme. You could put some dots on here, kind of concentrating on this leafy twig here to the exclusion of everything else. I'm going to do another one in a minute. And I think let's find our, is this the thick and thin? Yeah. Okay, let's find a thick and thin and let's so these are nice thin lines, thin leaves, yeah. Where's that gold gone? I'll put a list of all the different pens that I've used in the description below, in case there's anything there that you want to look up. Most of my stuff comes from Japan rather than China, by the way, just in case you're wondering. Let me see, what shall we do? I think maybe I'll take the brush and perhaps I'll put a bit more colour over some of these shapes, perhaps linking them together a bit. I think we might want a bit of yellow. Just playing. This is by far the best way of learning how to control water and paint. You know, you can read as many books as you want, but I don't think you'll ever replace the experience. Well, you have to, you know, actually do it, not just read about it. I'm sorry if you don't like the scratchy sound. I do try to keep it to a minimum. Let's go for one of our acrylic pens here. Let's go for a light, maybe, or these are fairly opaque. Let's see what happens when I try doing some lines with this. That's still wet, so I won't do anything on there, but that's quite interesting. And then let's try some dots. And different colours show up differently on different backgrounds, of course. And we could do something like this here. And yeah, I quite like this. Let's put some different shapes. I don't know how you would manage without this, these acrylic pens once you've started to use them. I think they really are important. Let's put some, you don't even necessarily see the colour change. But it does make a difference, if you see what I mean. And this mixed media approach, you know, using acrylic on top of watercolor and constantly surprising yourself. I think I need some more fine line around here. Perhaps I'll just put it on the inside of this. And then I think we need some fine leaves. And maybe we want some circles down here. And perhaps we'll go around these circles with kind of little heart type things. basically just follow the lines that you've done with your underlayer. Follow the lines with your decorative embellishments. I hope that you've enjoyed this video today, which I think you probably will think of as being, I'm going to put some little leaves down here. I'm going to do the same as I did up there, because I do like to repeat a motif, but slightly, with slight variations, so to speak. Okay, so that kind of repeats that, and then we'll sort of repeat the fine leaves. Some days, you know, you're full of life and you're kind of bouncy and cheery and everything, and other days you don't have that level of energy, and that's when painting really comes in handy, because it can make a lot of difference. I think I could do with a little, does it need a bit more white? I did this before, I left the white behind, but it doesn't matter, because I think that's fine, and I think we're going to stop there, because I think I've done enough. And yeah, well, actually, there's a bit of a gap there, isn't there? Maybe just a little bit of gold. Let us just pop a few gold spots in there. Yeah, I think that's good. That'll do. And I'm going to go around here. Can't have too much gold. You can't. Or maybe you can. Right, I'm going to stop there. So there we are. One, what would you call that? Abstract relaxation piece of enjoyment. Can't say fairer than that. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you again soon, everybody. So bye for now. Bye-bye.